Hey, we're Phillips, Craig, and Dean.
And we are going on a cruise, guys.
Can't wait. We have so much fun with this week-long experience where we not only soak up the sun, we soak up that sun, and we encourage you to have fun with us. We're going to have a blast.
Yeah, we got Anita Renfro, and if you've never experienced her, well, we have, and it's going to be it'll be questionable.
Merciless.
She is, and of course our other guest,
Emerson Eggerich,
Yeah.
Love and Respect. Isn't he great?
Oh, fantastic. In fact, if you want to just have some fun in the sun and then stoke up your marriage, man, this is the place to come and be.
Consider this a personal invitation from the three of us to join us February 2020. You can check it out at pcdcruise.com.
Hey, we're Phillips, Craig, and Dean.
Guys, we're going on a cruise in February 2020.
Can't wait.
Got some exciting destinations, starting off with Key West, Florida. It's a great time of year to be in Key West. Perfect weather. Don't want to miss that.
Turks and Caicos. Isn't that gorgeous? That sand, sugar white.
Yeah. And then a private island just for you and us. It's going to be awesome. Half Moon Key, Bahamas.
A brand new place for us that we've never been, Amber Cove, Dominican Republic. It's going to be really exciting because we've never even visited that country. So for all three of us, a first. Check it out right now. Go right now. Don't wait. pcdcruise.com.
Hey, this is Sean Craig of Phillips, Craig, and Dean. I'm inviting you to come for a fantastic night of worship in Sugar Creek, Ohio at the Ohio Star Theater. Beautiful place. You don't want to miss this fantastic night with Phillips, Craig, and Dean. Get your ticket, come early, bring a friend. Hope to see you there.
With all creation I sing praise to the King of Kings. You are my everything, and I will adore you. I cry, holy Lord, all creation sings holy,
Hey, we're Phillips, Craig, and Dean. We're headed on a cruise to the Caribbean with Anita Renfro.
And so it makes you suspicious right now that the wisdom you think you have is really nothing in comparison to the wisdom you're going to have, which will tell you that your current wisdom wasn't that wise after all.
Crazy woman.
Lord have mercy. She is, what do we say?
And they say with wisdom, comes experience. Experience is actually the best teacher. And experience is what you get exactly 5 minutes after you needed it, which is what we call too late. That's
The music of Phillips, Craig, and Dean, the laughter of Anita Renfro, and the deep teaching of Emerson Eggerich.
pcdcruise.com. Get signed up. It's going to be a fantastic adventure. Come tan with Dan.
Get Sandy with me.
Hi, I'm Randy Phillips of Phillips, Craig, and Dean. We're coming to Fayetteville Community Church in Fayetteville, North Carolina, Thursday, March 14th. I hope to see you there for a great night of worship. Hey, we're Phillips, Craig, and Dean. We're going on a cruise with Anita Renfro, comedian, and Emerson Eggerich, one of the foremost.
in the house.
He is in the house.
He's pretty fantastic.
Oh my gosh, when he came to my church in Austin, he changed our lives, and he'll change yours if you're given the opportunity.
His book, Love and Respect, has been so helpful to us in our church. It's always in our bookstore, always a strong seller, because it's right up there at the top for me as a resource to help people who are wanting to strengthen their marriage.
The music of Phillips, Craig, and Dean, the laughter of Anita Renfro, and the deep teaching of Emerson Eggerich.
PCDcruise.com. Get signed up. It's going to be a fantastic adventure. Come tan with Dan.
Get Sandy with Randy.
I'm in a fight, not physical. I'm in a war, but not of
We
this
just had
world.
a blast traveling the country.
You know, we all have our roles that we play. Sean's the more stable, disciplinarian, creative. I'm pretty much the straight man. Randy makes life very interesting. Catches me off guard many nights because I never know what's going to come out of this man's mouth. And he doesn't.
Joy unspeakable that won't go away. Just enough strength to live for today, so I never have to worry what tomorrow. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Holy, holy.
In uncertain times, it's easy for us to focus on the uncertainty of life and things that we're afraid of. The unique thing about God is that when you magnify Him, instead of seeing flaws like you and I do when we look in a magnifying mirror, we actually see the greatness of God, and we see the long suffering, the mercy, the gentleness of our Lord.
Make this world a better place. Don't be afraid to cry.
Hook from this song came from a message that the three of us heard. He talked about 3 principles to live your life by, and that was live your life with nothing to prove, nothing to lose, nothing to hide. But it stuck with me, and then you're at the end and you're looking back. You can say, I don't have anything that I have that's left to prove, or nothing to hide, or nothing to lose. It's all out there, and it'd be a great way to wrap up life.
Live with no excuses and love with no regrets. Laugh a lot and leave this life with nothing left
Many of
unsaid.
us are preacher's kids, and we've grown up on the pew. My earliest recollection was being in the church, part of the church. My dad's a pastor, second generation pastor, and so all of us are pastors at our heart. And when we first did our first album with Star Song Records back in the day, they said, why don't you move to Nashville and serve the body of Christ globally and get serious about the record business. But we couldn't do that, what they call serious, because we're pastors. We're pastors first, and then we sing as a spillover of that gift.
It keeps your feet on the ground. There's something about going home to people who are not necessarily tuned into everything that's happening in Christian music or in the industry or what the charts are doing, and being involved in their lives at a level that doesn't happen when you're on stage helps me to keep everything in perspective.
I think there's an added dimension of an urgency of the moment, knowing that you're dealing, singing to, talking to people that at that moment could be going through crisis in their lives. And who knows that there's a song or there's something that's going to be said during the night that's going to turn their life and cause there to be this awakening
of hope in their life that they can go forward.
I feel like when I'm singing to that audience, they are my congregation. I realize at any particular moment there's couples in that audience that don't know if they'll keep their marriage. I realize there are parents there whose children are breaking their hearts, their choices. I realize there are people under tremendous economic stress, emotional stress. So I love that audience as my congregation. I realize I have about an hour and a half window to allow the presence of God to pour through me through this music. So they are my congregation. I am their pastor. I don't see the roles as being any different.
So I think it certainly helps me as an artist. It's not something that I look at as a distraction, but rather both complement each other.
When the Stars Burn Down is one of those epic worship songs that is similar to Revelation song. In fact, the same writer wrote both songs. When I first heard When the Stars Burn Down, I was immediately had that same impact of Revelation song, that big worship moment where you're transported out of this mortal world into that next world.
It is another one of those songs that, similar to Revelation song, puts things into perspective of what life is really all about.
This idea of the unveiling of Jesus Christ in His glory, and the melting down of the universe, and that when all that's said and done, that Jesus is still shining.
We have a brief moment here of our life in this space of a thing we call time that's going to be over so soon.
When time is over, when it's all over and you stand before Him.
It's all said and done, the universe folds up like a tent, and Jesus Christ is still King, He's still Lord. It's a moment.
Jesus, only Jesus. That song resonates with the three of us as pastors. We have congregants that come to us often and want us to help them with their challenges in life. And some of these challenges are so complicated. I find myself often, I have no way to help you. I don't know what to point you to. Counseling and these things are all great, but there's just sometimes people hit a place and the only place you can point them to is Jesus. Jesus, only Jesus. The great thing about that is He can breathe hope into you for the season of life you're in and take you to a place of healing. Jesus, only Jesus.
Holy King Almighty, Lord, saints and angels praise You high.
The idea behind Throne of Praise is that with our actions, our words, and our worship, we create a place of honor for God to sit and dwell. We've all witnessed that in our churches on a Sunday. Nothing special about the building or the place we come together, even the day of the week, but it's when God's people come together and in a spirit of community begin to lift Him and exalt Him. Although He already has a throne He dwells on, Revelation tells us, but we create this place for Him to come and occupy, and it's one of reverence and respect and honor.
As an offering we cry.
Important message for us as pastors, as Randy has alluded to often, that you start in the beginning of pastoring trying to deliver people from problems. And after a while you start realizing it's actually the problems that are sometimes blessings in disguise, as has been said before, but ways that we're reminded of God's presence, of His sovereignty, of His goodness in our lives. I think about that, and the scene comes to mind of seeing a parade when I was a kid. Often we'd go to Natchitoches, Louisiana, and we'd watch the Christmas festival parade. And I remember I was small enough that I would sort of just look between the legs of all the tall adults in front of me and just get glimpses of different scenes, whether it was, I think I saw the horse's hooves, and I thought I saw the coattails of the policeman, and there's the spokes of a carriage, and hearing everybody's applause but not really getting it because you're only seeing snippets of those things. But every once in a while my father would lift me up and put me on his shoulders, and then I was able to see, oh, that's what everybody's so excited about, and actually sometimes seeing the end from the beginning. And that's what God does. When every now and then He lifts us up, whether it's in worship, that we're raised, we're lifted. He is high above it all. And so when He lifts us up once in a while, we can sit on His shoulders, the one who sees the end from the beginning. And it's only there in that position that life begins to make sense. The little snippets of our lives, the scenes that cause us angst and cause us anxiety and fear, they begin to make sense in the parade of life from beginning to end. He's above it all.
Waters roar and mountains fall.